Welcome to the Vol Bros, presented by the Ooltewah Club. My name is Evan. My brother Ruston is actually not here. He had a family commitment tonight. You all know he coaches his daughter's softball team. They had some stuff going on tonight, so he is there. However, I will have a special guest joining me about 9:30, so I'm excited about that as well. I hope all of you are having a fantastic Thursday evening. We are presented by the Ooltewah Club, and we are always very appreciative of them. I was there tonight. If you are a honorary fam or watch party fam member, you'll be getting some behind the scenes stuff here in the next day or so. Also, tomorrow we're going to be recording another Break the Course Record video. Both of us will be there with Tom and Rob, the head golf pro and assistant golf pro at the Ooltewah Club. So we're excited about that. We are also very proud to be representatives of the University of Tennessee on the Believe Podcast Network. Strong podcast network, so we invite you to check out everything Believe has to offer as well. Elijah, channel member, said, "What's up, Evan? Good to see you, man." Spotty fan, hey, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said front row center and saving a seat for mama. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Likey, there's a channel member. She said front row center for Tony Vitello. Absolutely. If you like my hat, I know where you can find that. I thought it'd be appropriate to wear that this evening with the work Tony's doing on the recruiting trail. Let me know in the comments if you got the joke on the thumbnail. I said, give us all the recruits you have on the thumbnail, and that was a Ron Swanson reference. Give me a lot of recruits. Wait, I'm afraid what you heard of. I'm afraid give me all the recruits you have. Wait, I'm afraid what you heard was give me a lot of recruits. What I said was give me all the recruits you have. And that's essentially what Josh Heupel and Tony Vitello are doing right now. Like he said, I keep using the wrong avatar. Hey, you're good. I like that avatar. It's on my hat. I like that. Well, so here's what we're going to do. And you can tell me your thoughts in the comments as well. We're going to start with football, and then we're going to move to baseball. They have obviously been on a tear lately in recruiting. Billy, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. This is a channel member. Good to see you. We're going to start with football. They've gotten 3 recruits just in the last really 3 days. And so, obviously between a couple of them, they were announced on different days. People thought, well, that's not a good sign. That means they're going to go different places. Nope, they're both going to Tennessee. Matt, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. Said howdy, bros. So let's start with, and I'll tell you what, I'll just share my screen so that you all can see what I'm seeing. Like you said, you get 2 thumbs up, though. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I'm going to share my screen so that you all can see what I am seeing as well. We're going to start with Javonte Smith. So all the things you're going to be seeing right now are On3's ratings. On3 has Javonte rated as a 3-star recruit. Elijah said trending harder and harder for keys every day as well. This class could be special. You're exactly right. Especially with Chad Simmons from On3. Chad is a national guy. He's not a local guy. And Chad said that if you had to pick either LSU, where Keys is currently committed, or literally the rest of the country, choose the rest of the country because he doesn't think he's going to end up at LSU. Great question, buddy. Good to have you. He said, what number are we on team rankings for football? I don't know. I can look that up for you here in a minute. Normally, that'd be where it'd be good to have Ruston because he can be looking that up in the background while I'm showing this. So, Javonte Smith, all these guys are class of 2026 guys as well. That's important to note. So, really, their signing day really is this December, basically, is when their signing day is. And so Northside High School, Jackson, Tennessee, listed as a wide receiver. That's the first one. You can't really see it because I guess I should need to zoom in. He's 6 feet tall. Yes, please. That's the kind of height in a receiver you want. And so obviously that is a good advantage for him personally. And that's why he's gotten attention of Division I schools. He chose Tennessee over Missouri, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Mississippi State. So clearly SEC level talent considered by many teams. Elijah said we're up to number 13 according to On3. Thank you, Elijah. I appreciate that. He's helping me out on the backside of things tonight. I appreciate that. I'm going to save the second commit for last because that's the one I'm most excited about. Backflip Spaghetti. Hey, how's it going, man? He said, howdy, Evan. Give me all the stars. I'm becoming anxious for the season to start. Amen. Absolutely. Elijah said, I got you, Evan. I appreciate that, man. The third, the most recent, actually, commitment was Joel here. And it's a defensive back from Marietta, Georgia. Now, I think that's interesting that he's from Marietta. It is difficult, in my opinion, it is difficult to. Okay, I'll say this. I'm trying to be nice about rankings and that kind of thing. He's listed as a 3-star as well, just like Javonte Smith was. However, he's playing in Marietta, Georgia. Now, I don't want to be rude to the people in Jackson, Tennessee, but the level of competition in Marietta, Georgia is substantially higher than that in Jackson, Tennessee. And so, whereas he's ranked a 3-star, I would be curious, just curious, if you were to take Joel and put him in Jackson, Tennessee, or somewhere in Kentucky, or somewhere in Michigan, and then let's find out what he's rated, because the level of competition in Marietta is certainly higher than average in the country. So another thing that jumps off the page about this young man right here, 6'2", defensive back that's 6'2". Yes, please sign me up. I'm all about that. That's what I'm talking about. He chose Tennessee over South Carolina, Missouri, Wisconsin, and Georgia. Now, I do think it's interesting. Here he is from Marietta, and he chose Tennessee over Georgia. That is a huge deal. That is a huge deal. And clearly, John, there's a channel member. What's up, John? Good to have you, buddy. He's exactly right. I said recruiting ability, not just stars. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Herb said, that's what I'll look at. Who else is offered the recruit? Sometimes stars don't tell the whole story. That's exactly right. And Matt said, did we get the offensive lineman today? I have not yet heard about an offensive lineman committing today. That is a good question. If somebody else knows the answer, and if somebody knows that we did, y'all can let us know in the comments. So, wide receiver, 6-foot wide receiver from Jackson, Tennessee, 6'2" defensive back from Marietta, Georgia. But honestly, probably the one everybody is most excited about, including recruiting analysts, is Braden Rouse. And Braden originally played tight end in high school, moved to linebacker. William Inge offered him after his first game at linebacker. Credit to William Inge. The guy is phenomenal. First of all, recognizing talent, but apparently developing it as well. Because you can look at the progression of Arion Carter and Jeremiah Thielander, and it's phenomenal. And so, Rhonda, hey, Rhonda, good to have you as channel member. She said, hey there, Evan. Hello, everybody. So we got Braden, also from Marietta, Georgia. Linebacker, 6'3". So the reason that everybody's excited about him is because of his athletic ability. He's a 4-star, but pretty much anybody you talk to says this dude could be a contributor like straight out of the gate. He is almost a plug and play type guy. And that is the kind of thing you want to hear. When you look at other teams who had offered him, you've got offers from Alabama, Michigan, Texas, and Georgia Tech. So the guy could have gone literally anywhere he wanted to in the country. And he came to Tennessee. That's a huge recruiting win right there. Herb said absolutely huge get, probably best linebacker in the class. I mean, this is a really, really big win for Tennessee. This is a big win. Now, what's intriguing about all three of these guys, because I mean, let's be honest, Tennessee has gotten what, 7 recruits in the last 10 days, something like that. I mean, it's unbelievable, the recruiting hot streak they're on right now. And people say, well, why is that? Why right here in July is it heating up so much? And I'm sure there's different reasons for all across the country, I'm sure, but here's probably the main reason. A lot of these guys want to get their commitment out of the way before their senior season. And they want to be done with recruiting before the season starts, because pretty much as soon as their season is over is National Signing Day in December. And a lot of these guys are only going to be, not only are they going to be signing in December, they're going to be on campus in December, at the end of December. And so, whereas, yes, this kid right here is a 2026 athlete, he's a linebacker in the 2026 class. He's going to be practicing at Tennessee probably in 5 months. So less than 6 months from now, dude's going to be wearing orange. So even though it says class of 2026, we can't let that skew our perspective of just how soon these guys are going to be on campus. These dudes are going to be on campus in less than 6 months. So that's why there's been a flurry of commitments here as of late, because they want to get the recruiting process done and over with before they start their season. And they want to, that way they can focus on their season, and then they're going to be on campus. Backflip Spaghetti said early enrollees. Exactly. Let's see. Will said, hey, Will, good to have you, buddy. He said, hey, everybody, Tyler Atkinson's the best linebacker in the country by far, in my opinion. Dude is a werewolf. Whoa. Let's see here. Backflip Spaghetti said by the time he gets here and the training staff gets a hold of him, he'll be a giant linebacker. You're exactly right. He's already 6'3", 205. I would be shocked if by next August he's not at least 6'3", 215. Maybe even 220. Let's see here. Herb said he's supposed to help recruit Keys to Tennessee. You're exactly right, Herb. It's very interesting. The first thing Braden said after he committed and everything, he was like, "I'm going to get Tristan Keys." Like that's who I'm going after. You're exactly right. Brendan said, "My only question is, hey, welcome, Brendan. Good to have you, buddy." Brendan owns this hat right here. That's what I'm talking about. Brendan said, "My only question is, have you been to Jackson, Tennessee? I've spent many nights there. Trust me, not very much talent coming out of Jackson." So, the only other person I can think of off the top of my head would have been, well, two actually, Trey Teague and Trey Smith. So those are the two guys from Jackson. Definitely the talent in Marietta is much deeper than the talent in Jackson. No offense to the people, good folks in Jackson. Love y'all. Let's see here. Jeff said, people keep saying 3-star U, but Tennessee has 9 3-stars, 9 4-stars, 1 5-star. I don't get it. Look at the number of 3-stars other schools have. It's just being a negavol. Yeah, exactly right. I will also remind folks that Cam Sutton was a 3-star defensive back coming out of high school, and look what he turned out to be. Emmanuel Mosley was almost a 2-star. Some recruiting services had him as a 2-star. And the dude's been in the NFL now for how many years? Just because someone is underrated, that does not mean that the coaching staff can't develop them. Now, I will say this. There is also very much legitimacy to the idea that stars matter. Because when you look at rosters like, the last several national champions, they've been loaded with stars. So there's definitely a balance there. Matt said JB Shabazz, 4-star offensive lineman. I thought he's going to commit today. Maybe I'm wrong. Great question. I don't know. I'll look him up here if I get a chance here in just a second. Jonathan, welcome, buddy. Great to have you. You said hello, Evan and chat family. Hope everyone has a great week so far. You too, man. Absolutely. Will said that the Tyler Atkinson kid's a werewolf because he's unstoppable. Yeah, I understand. Will said Ohio State currently has 2 5-stars, 14 4-stars, and 5 3-star players. Yeah, I mean, stars matter. I mean, like they do. Um, I'd say the stars matter the majority of the time. Are there occasions where stars do not matter? Yes, there are certainly occasions. Tony, welcome, buddy. Great to have you. He said Cedric Tillman was a 2-star, and he's currently starting for the Browns. So, I mean, um, he's one of the most dominant receivers in the SEC his last year at Tennessee. So, stars, do they matter? Sure. Do they matter in every scenario? No, they don't. I think that's a fair assessment. Do stars matter? Yeah. Do they always matter? No. Matt said he just looked it up. JB Shabazz will commit to someone tomorrow at 6 p.m. So there could be another one. I mean, like I said, it's just a flurry of commits here right before school starts because people want to get it done and out of the way and get everything settled before they start their high school last season of high school. Will said players like AJ Hawk were 3-star players. 3-star players excel a lot. Yeah, he's exactly right. We could probably go down and list a bevy of 2- and 3-star guys who are now tearing it up. Billy said, I got the Football Time in Tennessee magazine, and it says we have a great staff, and that could be the reason why we got these wonderful players. You're exactly right. And mine fell down back here, apparently. So this is this year's Football Time in Tennessee magazine. You got Arion Carter on the cover. Now, specifically what Billy's talking about, I'm going to give a shout out to my good friend Reed Carringer here. So there are coaching profiles for every single coach. And it is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. This magazine is extremely high quality. Really, if you're a Tennessee football fan, this is the premier preseason magazine that you need. Just absolutely fantastic. So I got this year's right there. Let's see if it stays. It might not. We'll see how long that lasts. There's the Football Time in Tennessee magazine for this year. Mississippi Vol, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, good evening, Mr. Pierce Chat family. Sorry for being a little late. Been loving the recruiting business here lately. Absolutely. Like Matt said, could be another one tomorrow. Ooh, Jonathan, you just hit the nail on the head, buddy. Jonathan said, I don't think stars matter as much as the player's willingness to be coached. That is a big, big deal. Does talent matter? Absolutely. Does work ethic matter? 100% yes. 100% yes. Mina, like he totally agreed with you. Let's see. Matt said, the offensive line looking real good this recruiting season if we add Shabazz. Oh, yeah, absolutely. For sure. Let's see. Billy said, I got that magazine because you recommended it. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. It's fantastic, isn't it? I really love it. Every year, man. It's great. Brendan said, yes, proud owner of the dark mode hat. I've said it before, but one of my few going out on the town hats. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Brendan. That is fantastic. Jonathan said, don't forget to tell your mom and them about the Vol Bros. Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you would like this hat, you can find this hat at thevolbros.com/shop, thevolbros.com/shop. That's where you can find this hat. There's also a smoky gray version of it. Also some really great other stuff on there. Let's see here. So that's football. 3 dudes in the last 4 days, maybe even less, maybe 3 days. Also pretty interesting watching, apparently Legend Bay, which was not in Sarasota, Florida. It was in Texas. For those of you who don't know, we looked it up. There actually is a Legend Bay in Sarasota, Florida. It's a retirement community. And so Legend Bay has to end his career in Florida and retire in Legend Bay. Brennan, I did get to coach Brennan in baseball. And Brennan said, Coach Pierce used to challenge us to be coachable. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Let's see. Jeff said stars are given for different reasons. One for speed, one size, so on, such as knowledge, experience. One star is given just as a prediction as a future first round draft pick. That's why there's only 32 5 stars per class. Yep. So, um, Legend Bay working out with Joe Milton. That's pretty cool stuff. Also speaks a lot of Legend Bay that Joe Milton felt like he was fast enough to run routes to simulate the receivers he'd be throwing to. That speaks a lot of Legend. Let's see here. Mina, like you said, Billy the Blue Shield is my favorite. So what she's referring to is our channel emojis and badges. If you don't know, you can become a channel member. Just click join on YouTube. The Smoky Gray badge is the first month that you're a member. The second month, it goes to the Summit Blue badge. The third after 4 months, or is it 3? Now I can't even remember. No. So I guess the third month it goes to the orange one. And then my favorite, the 6th month, it goes to the dark mode. That's pretty sweet right there. That's a sweet one. And then 1 year is Summit Blue and orange, and then 2 years is checkerboard. That's pretty sweet. And then you got the custom emojis that everybody can use. If you're on YouTube, you can see those. People are putting them in the comments. Pretty awesome stuff. Good times. We'd appreciate anybody coming to channel member. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Robert, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, Keys, please be evolved. Yeah, for sure. We would love to have him on campus, no doubt. Rhonda said, good info, Jeff. My conspiracy theory self always thought that they took away stars from our players. Matt said, Legend Bay runs a 10.2 second 100-meter dash. That is crazy, and that is crazy fast. Not quite Olympic speed, but pretty darn close. Less than a second away from Olympic speed. That's how fast that is. That is very impressive. So let's talk a little baseball recruiting. Not only has Josh Heupel been tearing it up on the recruiting trail, Tony Vitello continues to tear it up on the recruiting trail. And Robert said Keys is a home run we need at wideout for sure. As of today, Tennessee baseball has gotten 2 recruits in the past 2 days, maybe 3, but no more than 3. It started. Let's see here. I can tell you what day it was. I must have gone past it. So we tweeted it out when he committed. And now I can't find it. So they recently got a commitment from left-handed pitcher from Duke. This is driving me crazy that I cannot find it in our. It's gone. That is bizarre. Mississippi Vol said Tony V is kicking butt, taking names on that recruiting trail. Absolutely, he is. But everybody was concerned about how many, the sheer volume of pitchers from Tennessee that were transferring this year. I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that literally almost our entire pitching staff transferred. Almost the entire pitching staff. Well, 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, Mark Hindy, left-handed pitcher from Duke, transferred to Tennessee. He entered the transfer portal, a week or so ago. And then, now here we go. He is coming to Knoxville, which is a huge addition to this pitching staff. Don't be shocked if there are more pitchers yet to come. That I will not be shocked if there's some more. But then today, Tennessee missed out on a couple of middle infielders from Virginia, other places. Well, they got one today, and transfer from San Diego State. Finley Bates has committed to Tennessee. He will be he's listed as a middle infielder. A lot of people say he can play second, short, or third. As we've seen this year, Manny Marin was recruited as a shortstop, and he was playing third base this year. It will be interesting to see where he ends up. It will also be interesting to see. Listen, Jay Abernathy factors into this too, because Jay Abernathy can play second base. But if this dude ends up at second base, and also Ariel Antigua has been tearing it up in summer ball, hitting at the plate, which is what we needed. So Ariel's been tearing it up. If he keeps hitting the ball the way he is, he'll be at short. So that means that Manny Marin's still at third. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. It'll be really interesting to see how it all plays out. But I do want to give credit where credit is due here, because Ruston, and some folks were asking, where's Ruston? He is actually coaching right now. His youngest daughter's softball team, they're having a big thing going on tonight, so he is coaching that. But I want to give Ruston a lot of credit here, because yesterday Tony Vitello said this in an interview, and Ruston immediately texted me this morning and said, I feel like I heard that on a podcast at some point. So a lot of people have been not happy with Ruston's take on transfers and recruits and that kind of stuff. And he was like, obviously you got to get some high school kids, but spend the most of your money on transfers. He said that now for several weeks in a row. And he has been all for going out hard after the transfer portal. So this is quotes from Tony Vitello yesterday. Everybody in our building was about as bitter as you can be with a 46-win season, so we've been at it, talking about recruiting. He said the goalposts have moved, and we have to move with it. The teams we lost to were older. We've been pretty conservative in the portal, and rosters have gotten older, so we will make that adjustment. So Tony Vitello is straight up admitting we got to go get some older dudes, because those are the teams that won. That is exactly what Ruston's been saying. So I'm going to give him a lot of credit. He nailed that one. And I mean, if Tony feels that way, he's the GOAT. So I'm going to go with him. That's what he said. Let's see. Matt said Salisi Moa could be a monster recruit. Remember that name. Could be the next best Tennessee safety or wide receiver. That's what I'm talking about. John said the baseball team is going to have a massive problem figuring out who gets to start next season with all the great players we have, plus the players we already have. It's going to be a problem. You're exactly right. I don't know where they're going to put everybody. You're exactly right. Let's see. VFL, Craig, welcome, buddy. He said, I'm a little behind on the watch, but it's a numbers game with stars. Even if every 5-star made the NFL, you still wouldn't have enough players to fill one NFL team roster because of how few there are. Yeah, absolutely. Rhonda said, never doubt my Vitello. VFL Craig said, most NFL players are 3-stars because there are thousands per cycle, but a 3-star has a single-digit chance to make the NFL, while 80% of 5-stars make the league. You want those 5-stars. Hey, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Herb said, hoping Schoolcraft and Appenzeller get to campus. So, particularly Crew Schoolcraft, just so everybody knows who Herb's talking about. The dude is like the next Randy Johnson, basically. Huge, tall left-hander, and throws hard. He's projected first-round pick, so he probably ain't coming. That signing bonus is going to be nice for him. Let's see. John said, I saw where Coons has been tearing it up in the Cape Cod League. Yes, he has. Yes, he has. I believe Aaron said Ruston. Okay, yeah, he's just coaching tonight. He had a commitment he couldn't get out of, so he's coaching. John said, we won't tell Ruston you were giving him that much credit. We don't want him to get a big head. Well, so I told you I was going to have a special guest join me this evening, and she is here. You have seen her once before on one of our videos. I'd like to introduce everyone to my wife, Ginger. Ginger, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So, Ginger, I asked her to come on because I had a question for her. I thought it'd be fun question, and I want everybody in the comments to answer it as well. I want all y'all to give us your reactions as well, and I'm going to give my answer too. Ginger, you've been forced to be a Tennessee fan your entire life.
Yeah, my entire life. Yep, that's fair.
John said hello, Ginger.
Hello.
Neil said hello. Carl, welcome.
Hello.
Carl, good to have you. Carl said hi.
Hi.
Rhonda said hey.
Hello.
So I'm going to ask Ginger this question, and I want everybody else to answer it as well. But I'm going to put one criteria on it. So Ginger and I have been together for we got married in
Long
2007, so this will
time.
be 18 years now. So
Yep.
we'll say since that time, and everybody can give us an answer as well. Neyland Stadium. What was your favorite game that we've ever been to in Neyland Stadium?
Um, I think it has to be I think 2017 South Carolina game. And that's because we had some friends who have a membership to the East Club and they asked us to go to the East Club with them. And it ruined me forever for all football games because it's like incredibly nice. And Evan can tell you my favorite part of Evan, what would you say? Why do I go to Neyland Stadium? What's the like number one
Petros.
reason other than yes, Petros? So they essentially have like their own brand of Petros up there, and you can make your own Petros and sit in the air conditioning and have like private bathrooms and stuff. It was just really really nice. So that was probably my favorite, just because that's the way to do it, man. If you got it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
So, and everybody probably remembers that game as well. It was either 2017 or 2019. I think it was 2017.
Yeah, our kids were
And
pretty little, so I think it was
yeah,
2017.
um, they Tennessee was winning the whole game.
Hmm.
It was against South Carolina. South Carolina had the ball coming down the field to tie at the end, and Jalen Reeves-Maben. Well, it had to have been 2017 because he was gone by 2019. So Jalen Reeves-Maben uh, tracks a dude down the middle of the field. He's running wide open down the middle of the field. Jalen Reeves-Maben tracks him down, forces a fumble. Tennessee recovers it with 20 seconds left to win the game, and the place was going bonkers. It
Nuts.
was
Yeah.
amazing. Such a good ending. But yeah, that was the one and only time we've ever been in the East Club, and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
We, like Ginger said, we had a family friend who had tickets and invited us to join them for that one game. Man,
That was awesome.
it was pretty sweet. It was pretty sweet. You walk up in the room there, and there's just this big cooler of ice cream, like a freezer.
Mhm.
You just get the ice cream that you want. I'm like,
Yep.
this is amazing. May or may not have had a ice cream sandwich that game, but that was easy. That was pretty good. Y'all let us know in the comments what your favorite game in Neyland has been. Let's see some of the other comments came through. Uh, Billy said hello, Ginger. Billy's a channel
Hello.
member.
Awesome.
Um, Matt's channel member. He gave you a thumbs up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Carl said Evan married a child bride.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Married me
She's
when I
at.
was like 4, right? So
Jeff said, "Wow, Evan, you definitely outkicked your coverage on that one. Nice to meet you, Ginger."
nice to meet you too.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Elijah said, "Hey, Ginger." Elijah's a channel member. Um,
Awesome.
so Sam asked an interesting question. He said, "Did you see that Jordan Thomas has retired from football due to injuries?" I have not seen that. I don't know if that's accurate. He got injured last year. He missed all of last season, but as of yesterday, the news was he would be playing this year. So Thank you for letting me know that. I'm gonna investigate that for sure. But everybody, let us know in the comments, what was your favorite game you've ever attended in Neyland? And I've been thinking about this, and there's several that could be. I kind of mentioned this, you know, last month. I think we were talking about this. The first game Ginger and I ever went to together, just the two of us, was I think in 2013. I think it was.
Probably,
It
yeah.
was the South Alabama game in 2013. AJ Johnson was a senior at linebacker. Tennessee almost lost to South Alabama, which was horrible. But we did thankfully pull it out. But I do remember. So we were sitting in the north end zone, right behind the families. I think it was like Z something, and I did not wear sunscreen, and it was in September,
Yep.
and I got roasted.
Blistered. Yeah. It was bad.
my my right leg was like the color of, I can't find anything red. It was red. That's the color it was.
You're a Tennessee
Brennan,
fan. You can't have anything red up there in that room.
yeah, exactly. Brennan said he was at that game. That's
Oh,
what I'm
really?
talking about. How cool is that?
That's
And he
cool.
said you're still his favorite teacher.
Oh, thank you. I will
um,
say, as a kid, I got to be there. I think it was maybe the first time, or at least one of the first few times that Peyton conducted the band at the end of the game. Like I remember him, climbing up the ladder and basically being the drum major or whatever you call him. So that was cool. But I don't remember what year it was. I just remember I was a kid. So,
that was the first time he ever did it. That was pretty
yeah.
awesome. That's pretty awesome. Let's see. Matt said his favorite game he ever went to was 2016 Tennessee, Florida. 21-3 at the half. Florida's winning. Tennessee came all the way back, won. First time
I
forever
remember
we
that
beat
game.
them.
Yeah.
The game that Juwan Jennings torched Jalen Tabor. The game that uh, the famous Butch Jones timeout with, what was it, like 20 seconds or 10 seconds left, and he calls timeout and just walks down the sideline holding it up in the air like this as the fans are going crazy. um yeah, that was a good game. That was a very good game. VFL in Texas, welcome buddy, good to have you. He said the 2022 Alabama game, that'd be a hard
Too.
one to top there. That'd be a hard one to top. uh Ruston, I can't speak for him, but he was at the 1998 Arkansas game, the stumble and fumble game. So I'm going to guess that was probably his favorite one. Let's see. Rhonda said, I've been 3 times to Neyland, all good, but can't remember details. It's a fun time, that's for sure. Slick Biker, that's a cool name. He said, UT 38, Auburn 20, 1985. Great atmosphere.
Wow,
Dale Jones and the Big Orange defense shut Bo down. That's what I'm talking about right
that's
there.
cool.
So, fun fact, fun trivia about me. Dale Jones's sister was my babysitter when I was a kid. Fun times. Fun fact. Let's see. Keg 2071. Welcome, buddy. He said 98 Arkansas was my most special game to have ever attended. That's a good one. It's kind of hard to beat that one. That's right up there. Mississippi Vol said might have been the 1997 Vandy game. That was his last game in Neyland when Peyton directed the band. It might have been.
Yeah, probably.
Herb said my first game was in 1995 versus Southern Miss. We won 42-0. That's what I'm talking
It's a
about.
good one.
That's a good one. Sam said he remembers that game and remember chanting "We want Bo." That's what I'm talking about. That's fantastic. John said I've only got to go to Neyland one time. Don't remember the year we played South Carolina. I believe Dooley was coaching. We wore black jerseys. I know we lost, unfortunately. So probably pretty good chance Dooley was coaching then. But yeah, it's something else, man. It is a incredible atmosphere inside Neyland. And kudos to Danny White. He's trying to, make it an even better atmosphere. let's see. I'm trying to remember. You know, see. Here's the thing. I like different games for different reasons. Jeff said he couldn't find anything on Jordan Thomas yet. I appreciate you looking, Jeff. Thank you, buddy. Um, Robert said Texas would still be in Mexico if not for the Tennessee Volunteers. Sam said 1982 Tennessee versus Alabama. Tennessee broke a 12-game winning streak. Bear Bryant's last Tennessee game. That's a good one, Sam. That is a good choice right there. I mentioned this about a month ago when we were talking about this question, this idea of favorite game in Neyland, and there's a lot of different reasons why I have different games that stick out in my mind as great ones to be at. The South Alabama game that I just talked about with Ginger, I love that one because that was our first game we ever went to together.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun. When I think about other awesome games that I was at, the game itself was awful. The 2014 Tennessee Florida game, it was the first ever checker kneeling game. Shout out Spencer Barnett for arranging that. Fan arranged it. It was the first ever checker kneeling game. I remember exactly where we were sitting.
You went with Ruston to that one, right?
Yep, Ruston and I were there. We were sitting right in front of former players, which is pretty cool. And it was unfortunately a 10-9 loss, which kind of stunk. We could not get in the end zone. But to be there for the first ever checker kneeling game, that was awesome. That was really cool. And then, another one that sticks out in my mind was the very next year, checker kneeling. Ginger and I went to the checker kneeling game.
We did. We sat on the terrace level that time, I think.
We sure did.
Which is also nice.
It was, amen. Another friend of ours hooked us up with some terrace level tickets, and we got to sit. It was the 2015 Oklahoma game, double overtime, Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we lost, but man, talk about a rocking atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Despite the fact that it rained a whole lot for a big portion of the game, but it was still awesome. Great atmosphere.
Yep. I've got a photo of that game, a panoramic shot of the stadium, and you can see the two of us in the photo, which is pretty cool. Pretty awesome. So that's obviously a big one. Getting to go to the East Club, like Ginger said, that's kind of hard to beat. But I'm going to be honest with you. If I can pick my favorite game I've ever been to, man, I really want to say that 2015 game with you, but we lost. But it was amazing. I'll be honest. Maybe my second favorite game ever was 2 years ago against UTEP. It was the first time all four of us, or no, UTSA. It was Texas San Antonio.
Yeah.
It was the first time all four of us were at the game together. And it was Audrey's first time in Neyland. And she was so excited. She just wanted an orange shaker. That's all she wanted.
That's all she wanted. Yeah.
Ginger got her Petros, and so it was all good, man. But that was a great memory. Joe Milton, 80-yard touchdown run down the sideline, start the game. Longest touchdown run by a Tennessee quarterback ever. That was a lot of fun. See, that's the thing. Like, the games, those are great, but the things that make the game stand out in my mind are who I'm there with, and that's what's so cool about going. I love that game because we were all there together. I love the game 2 years ago, South Carolina at home, dark mode game at night, and me, Ruston, and Camden got to go. It was awesome. Those are the things that make it fun. It's who you're there with. And that's why it's good memories, man. Good memories. John said he was at that UTSA game. He said it was fun. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Let's see here. VFL in Texas said Spooky Neyland against Kentucky Halloween weekend, also in 2022.
Cool. Yeah.
And And so it was cool that South Carolina dark mode game, they did Spooky Kneeling. My son loved it. He loved it. He loves Spooky Rocky Top. Sam said 1971 Tennessee versus number one Penn State. His
Wow,
first game at Neyland and a big win for Tennessee. That is awesome.
that's awesome.
That is a good choice, right? That's a good one. Carl said 1985, last game at Neyland before I went into the Air Force.
Mm.
Well, thank you for serving our country, Carl. Thank you. He said afterwards moved to Florida. Don't remember who we beat. Had many adult beverages that day. Well, thank you for serving our country, man. We appreciate you. Jeff said my favorite was my first in 1984. We beat Vanderbilt to win the conference and went on to destroy Miami in the Sugar Bowl. We got to go on the field, celebrate, meet players. Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
That is very cool. Herb said this one sticks out in my mind. 2004, I took my dad, uncle, and my brother to their first football game to watch Brent Schaefer. That's what I'm talking about. And Eric Ainge rotate at quarterback. Final score 42-17. Man, I didn't expect to have a Brent Schaefer reference on the show tonight. That is fantastic. That is awesome. That is so cool. See, and what you know what I love about that? The thing that he remembers about it, he got to take his dad, his uncle, and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what makes that's what makes going to Neyland so fun. It's the people that you're there with. I love it. B-Fell in Texas said he took his brother-in-law to his first Tennessee game ever for that Kentucky game. That's what I'm talking about. Mina Laggy said, yep, blew out a tire at the 20-yard line. Mississippi Vol said that last game I've been to was in 2023 South Carolina game. That's the one I was at. That's awesome. That's so cool. He said, don't get to make it up very often now. I'm now at the age where just staying at home and keeping up with it is so much easier. Amen, brother. I totally understand. I mean, I'm an hour and a half away and I feel that way, like, yeah, I can, yeah. And you know what? That's part of what Danny White, that's part of his job is to figure out how to make it as enjoyable as sitting at home. Because I'll be honest with you, when I'm sitting at home, I can rewind and watch whatever in the world I want to watch over and over and over. If there was an awesome play that they don't show a replay of, I can go back and do it myself. It's tough on athletic directors right now to try to compete with. I mean, it is easy to stay home. And you know what? My favorite games to watch at home are the games that we have people over at our house or we go over somebody else's house. I'm learning that about myself tonight. It's about the people that I'm with when I'm watching.
Yep. That's
right. Carl said he has not missed any bowl games in Florida. That's what I'm talking about. He said no adult beverages, so he remembers those games. That's awesome. Well, I mean, that means you got the Tax Slayer Bowl and you got the well, it was a Tax Slayer Bowl when Evan Berry went off and had like 110-yard touchdown return and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty awesome. I also, while Ginger's here, she, when I told her I was going to do, she goes, don't do that. And I was like, no, I'm going to. So Ginger is a free travel agent. You can find her at gingermmt.com. I can make a quick little banner for that. I thought I already had one, but I didn't. So gingermmt.com. That's Ginger Marvelous Mouse Travels. Oh, I do have this. I have a screenshot of your website. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
And this is our YouTube channel. She was the Innovator of the Year in her agency in 2022. Ginger, I have one question for you. Actually, I have two.
Sure. Okay.
First of all, what destinations can you help these wonderful people book?
Well, I mean, obviously a lot of theme parks, Disney on both coasts, Disney Cruise Line, Alani, which is in Hawaii, Universal Parks on both coasts, Hollywood and Orlando, also Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, and they go all over the place. I book Celebrity Cruise Line as well, Sandals and Beaches, all inclusives, which are at various locations in the Caribbean. So that's kind of the niche that I stay in, just so I can have the level of expertise that I need to have. Like, I don't necessarily book everything in the world just because I don't feel like I can know everything in the world, but I feel like I know those destinations and those vendors pretty well.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you my last question. Is it a scam that you're a free travel agent? How in the world can it be free?
Everybody thinks it is, but I mean, it's like anything in life, there's built-in costs to things, right? So any vacation that you book, whether you book it through me or you go on the vendor's website and just book it directly through them, you're paying a travel agent's commission. It's already built into the price of the vacation. So if you book direct, the vendor just pockets that amount, keeps it, and service everything yourself or have to go through a call center. But if you book it through me, then I do that. I was on the phone on hold for an hour today for a client. So, I get the commission in cases where people book through me, and I take care of the hassle and things like that for them.
And how much money did you save that client today after being on hold for an hour?
Well, that particular one, it was about an $800 difference. But when you
You
factor in
saved
there were
them $800.
Yeah,
That's
because
pretty
there
good.
had been a mistake on the vendor's end that we had to fix. And then there were some promotions that were released today, and I saved that client about 400 applying those.
So they just woke up this morning and their vacation cost them $400 less
Yep,
because you were watching for promotions
yep.
on their behalf
Hmm.
and you applied them retroactively.
Yes.
That's pretty sweet. And they're not
Yep.
paying you a penny.
No.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So just so everybody, just to recap, places like Disney, Royal Caribbean, wherever, if you right now go on their website and book yourself a trip, they are including the price of a travel agent's commission into that trip because they know that there is a chance you might use a travel agent. So if you go on and you book it yourself, they're including the price of a travel agent in what you pay them. If you don't use a travel agent, they just pocket that money. If you use the travel agent, then they send that commission that you already paid for, they send it to the travel agent. So
Hmm.
that's why you literally do not pay Ginger a dime
Yep.
because
That's right.
you're paying for Ginger to wherever you're going already. And if
Hmm.
you use Ginger, then they just send it to her. If you don't use it, they just pocket it and keep it. And now you've overpaid for a vacation. And you've also had to sit on the phone yourself and for hours instead of her. And like I said, she was on the phone for an hour today. She ended up saving that client $800. Another one, she saved $400. It kind of seems like a no brainer. I'm just saying. Um, but I wanted Ginger on here because we always talk about the Ooltewah Club. We always talk about Believe. We always talk about Oak and Twine. Oak and Twine's one of our sponsors. But let me tell you something. This lady right here, she is the biggest sponsor of our show, okay? Because every Thursday night and every Sunday night, she takes care of everything while I'm up here in the bonus room in my studio area doing this show. So
Yeah.
she deserves it.
Taking
Let's
care of
see here.
everything usually involves keeping the kids from being too loud or coming up there and bothering
Yes,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Carl said, way to go, Ginger. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Some of the other comments came through. Mississippi all said, yep. If you're at home, it's free concession stand. Absolutely. No line for the restroom. Absolutely. And no traffic. Of course, the Nealon atmosphere is unbeatable. Absolutely. Totally understand. Carl said he's been to Citrus Bowl, Outback Bowl, and Orange Bowl down there. That's what I'm talking about. Like he said, I knew that's what you were talking about. She said I was in front of Joe Milton running that touchdown, 80-yard touchdown. Yep, he sure did. He barely snuck it in there, but he got it in. Let's see. Brennan said one of my favorite games was when we beat Kentucky in 2002. We sat next to the mom of Smokey's handler. Oh, that's cool. She got her son to bring us down on the sideline and met Smokey. That's cool, man. He said, I still have the picture we made. That is awesome. That is a cool memory. That is so cool. Sam's, man, I'm jealous now. I want to meet Smokey. That's Sam said 1982 Tennessee Alabama game broke a 12-game streak and I had the best friend sitting right beside me. His grandmother worked in the Alabama athletic department and he spent those 12 years holding it. Oh man, that's great. Let's see. Mississippi all said he was also at that game where you're sitting by this guy. Every time Jared Lorenzen would throw an incomplete pass, he would say, "Oh, come on, J-Lo. You don't eat enough donuts this morning." That's pretty good. Jared Lorenzen was known to be a rather large fellow, especially for a quarterback. Let's see here. Mississippi Vol said the whole section was laughing at that guy talking. Let's see. Sam said he was holding it over him that we won. He wanted him right when we won. I wanted him right beside me after 12 years. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Rhonda asked you, Ginger, do you work with people outside of your area? She's in Middle Tennessee.
Yes, I do. I work with people from all around the world, actually. So yeah.
She's helped some folks from Australia. She's helped folks all over the place. Yep. And you can also, like, if you're curious about what she does, she has tons of videos, resort tours, all kinds of stuff on youtube.com/gingermmt. youtube.com/gingermmt. Herb said, what's her website again? So her website is gingermmt.com. gingermmt.com. And her YouTube channel, where you can find a ton of stuff, including she put out some stuff today about promotions and everything. youtube.com/gingermmt. That's where you can find her. Her website looks like this. There's the Hulk roller coaster at Universal right there. There's her travel agent YouTube channel. I appreciate y'all asking about her and those questions. I appreciate that. So gingermmt.com. Brennan said, for real, contact Ginger. She will give you all the pro tips and take care of any issues or answers any questions you have. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Brennan
got to
is a
book
client.
Brennan's wife and little guy a cruise together. So yep, that was fun.
Absolutely. VFL in Texas said, good information about travel agents. Thank you both for that. Absolutely. If you have a travel agent who tries to charge you money, that is a major red flag. Because not only are they making money off of you, then they're making money off of your trip as well. That should not happen. If any travel agent tries to charge you money, red flag. Red flag. Ginger doesn't charge anything to her clients. Well, this has been a lot of fun. It was cool to get to see. One thing I love doing is getting to hear everybody's stories about their times in Neyland, because it's so cool. Like you get to see really, you get to see really what it's like, for people. It always goes back to who you're with. Like it always goes back to that. And I love that. We're relational beings. We're made in God's image. We're relational beings. And that's part of it. And so it's so cool getting to see how other people, value those moments in Neyland with loved ones and friends. That's pretty cool. Missy Val said, speaking of Jared Lorenzen, he was a tough competitor every year we played them. He sure was. Hated to hear he passed away a few years back. Yep, I totally agree. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We will be live Sunday night at 9:00 Eastern. Really cool thing happened. Before we finish, I want to let everybody know about this because it's going to be pretty neat. So, as you all know, we are part of the Believe Entertainment Network, and they do have podcasts for almost every single Power 4 school. Today there was essentially, I don't want to say a conference call, but there was an effort made by Believe to connect all of their college football programs. And we were part of that. And what was really cool was we've already made some connections. It's going to be pretty neat this year. Every Thursday during football season, we always do our preview show, and we'll give, who we think is going to be the player of the game. We're going to give our keys to the game. We're going to give our score predictions for the game. Well, this year, it's looking like almost every week we're going to have a person from the other school, the opponent's school, their school's podcast, join our show.
That's cool.
And we're going to get to hear. So like today we worked it out with the Alabama show. That week Ruston and I are going to appear on their podcast, and they're going to appear on our live stream. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. Ruston and I are still going to get to do everything we've done with you guys, but we're also going to get to add, here's what the other team's thinking about this game. That it's going to be really cool. I'm very excited about that. I will also remind everybody, and Ginger can attest to this because we were talking about it just earlier. August 28th, it's a Thursday night. You want to join us. Circle it on your calendar, man. Circle it on your calendar. we're going to have an SEC football trivia night, August 28th, live on our show from the Oldwell Club. It's going to be a lot of fun. It will be, here's the kicker though. It will be limited to the first 1,000 participants. Okay. So, just remember that the first 1,000 folks can play in the trivia game, and the winner gets the choice of item off our website, thevolbros.com/shop, up to a $50 purchase. So August 28th, you want to be there for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I would go ahead and recommend this. When you join us that night, you're going to want to have two devices going. You're going to want to have one device where you're watching the show, and then one device where you're answering the questions, because it's all going to be via a web browser. So you're going to want to have two devices that night. SEC football trivia night, August 28th. Trust me, you'll want to be there for that. Mississippi Vol said, enjoy your weekend, guys. Already looking forward to Sunday. Hey, we appreciate you, man. We might have some more recruits to talk about on Sunday. It would not surprise me if we have another pitcher by that point, but we'll talk about it. Carl said, so happy you got Ginger on today. I appreciate that. Me too. It's fun looking at my screen and seeing her. That's fun. John said, great show as always. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. I will see everyone Sunday. Thanks for joining us, Ginger.
Anytime.
And Carl said, can't wait to talk crap to opposing podcasts. I'm sure that will be happening. I'm sure. But I'm excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun to have other teams and what they think, going on. I will remind everybody, and I'll remind everybody about this on Sunday as well. This upcoming week is SEC Media Days. So it's Monday the 14th through Thursday the 17th. And just so everybody knows, Tennessee's day is Tuesday. And so what's exciting is next Thursday night, Ruston and I will recap SEC Media Days, and we're going to give our predictions, record predictions for every SEC team next Thursday night. It'll be a huge show, really long show, actually. But this is always a blast. We're looking forward to seeing y'all again Sunday night. Excited to we'll do a little behind the scenes stuff tomorrow from the Oldwell Club, as well as we're doing the course record video. That'll be fun. Super excited to do that. So, like you said, beware. August 28th. I wonder if that's what she's referring to. Sam said, I was thinking the same thing. Like kangaroo would be fun. I'm not sure what that is. I'm sorry. She said kangaroo black. I'm not sure. I'll have to Google it. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is, Ginger? Yeah, I don't know either. Rhonda said, great show, Mino and Ginger. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Now I got to find out what kangaroo black is. Hang on. Oh, that's one of the Alabama pockets. It's not him. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, it's not him. Now I know who that is. Okay, it's not him. Sorry. But like you said, he would be really fun. That's what I'm talking about. Sam said he has an Alabama podcast. Rhonda, we appreciate you very much. Well, to the 485 people watching across all three platforms right now, we really appreciate you. Y'all are the best. We hope you join us Sunday night, 9:00 Eastern time, YouTube, X, Facebook. We'll be on all three. And so we hope you join us then. We hope everybody has a great weekend. Go Vols, baby. And we will see everybody really, really soon. Thank you again, Ginger.
No problem.